Closed captioning on News 3 is sponsored by Atkinson Toyota.
Check us out anytime 24/7 on the web at atkinsontoyota.com.
It's voting day for some in the Brazos Valley. We'll tell you about the elections. A number of protesters are in Dallas centered around the NRA. Plus, former Aggie great Mike Evans is back in town raising money for kids in need.
Local, trusted. This is News 3 at 6 on KBTX.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Clay Falls. Whitney Miller has the night off. A Cameron man is behind bars after a narcotics investigation at his home. Early this morning, the Cameron Police Department obtained a search warrant for Jesse Westbrook's home. They were investigating drug trafficking. Police found cocaine, marijuana, firearms, and ammunition inside the house. Westbrook is charged with possession of cocaine and marijuana in a drug-free zone. The location of his house is less than 1,000 feet from the Cameron Agricultural Farm owned by Cameron ISD. It's election day for some of our communities. Today, voters in State District 13 are voting to elect someone to fill the seat vacated by Leighton Schubert. Schubert resigned to take a job with Blinn College. Ben Lamont and Jill Wolfskill are vying for the seat. The winner in the runoff will take on Democrat Cecil Ray Webster in November. Snoke voters are deciding today on a big school bond for their community. The two propositions total more than $8.2 million. The bond would go towards new classroom space, a cafeteria, weight room renovation, and athletic improvements, among other items. A $100,000 home would see an increase of nearly $113 a year in additional taxes. Voting ends tonight at 7 at the Snoke Administration Building. Also in Burleson County, Caldwell voters are deciding today on a school bond worth more than $28.3 million. The bond would focus on major improvements to the high school campus. The district would like to remove portable buildings and construct a new science, agriculture, career, and technology facility. A new gym could also be built. If approved, a $100,000 home would see a tax increase of more than $161 a year. You still have time to hit the polls. Voting ends at 7 at the Burleson County Courthouse. And a multiple vehicle accident tied up traffic this afternoon near Texas A&M. Just after 1 p.m., a dump truck, Texas A&M bus, and two other cars collided at Penberthy Boulevard and George Bush Drive. The driver of the dump truck told KBTX the bus pulled out in front of him. When he swerved to avoid the bus, he hit two other vehicles. But police say they are still investigating who's at fault. One person was injured. Protesters of the National Rifle Association rallied in Dallas today. More than 70,000 NRA members are at the group's annual meeting, which featured an appearance and speech by President Trump on Friday. Those attending the meeting will listen to political speeches, check out the latest firearms, and attend gun training courses. But hundreds of people, including students and survivors of gun violence, rallied outside the convention center advocating for gun control legislation.
We hope to send a message to political leadership as well as the leadership in the NRA that we're not just students that are going to gather and go right back home.
The protesters were also out yesterday. A pro-gun rally was held right after. Police say it was not scheduled at the same time to prevent any clashes between the groups. Hundreds of people came out to support the Texas A&M Corps of Cadets final review. The Aggie tradition is the last activity for Corps of Cadets before summer, and it's held at Simpson Drill Field. It is a full military review of the entire Corps, where the transition of command also takes place. The senior cadets pass the baton and cheer on the new cadets of the 2018-2019 school year.
It feels amazing. It's been a challenging 4 years, but 4 years it's really kind of defined who I am. And, you know, it's taken me from where I was and made me who I am, and I'm so proud to have been an Aggie and to have been a member of the Fighting Texas Aggie Corps.
There are currently about 2,300 cadets in the Corps. The final review signals the end of the seniors' time in the Corps of Cadets and the beginning of new leadership positions for the new seniors and juniors and sophomores in the Corps. More than 150 participants came out to the Texas A&M golf course to help support and raise money for former Texas Aggie football player Mike Evans and his foundation. Celebrity guests included former Aggie quarterback Johnny Manziel, as well as other pro football and basketball players.
You know, I think this is what life's about. You know, you have fun, enjoy your time while you're here, but help people along the way. And especially if you've been, you know, blessed beyond measure. So, you know, I've been blessed, had a lot of help throughout my life, and I just want to pay it forward.
The Mike Evans Family Foundation helps support, empower, and encourage today's youth by motivating them to reach their goal regardless of economic status. The foundation develops college scholarships for graduating high school students, as well as supporting women and families battling domestic violence. Well, families were invited to the Lincoln Recreation Center to participate in a Cinco de Mayo themed party. The event was free to the public and filled with different activities for kids like face painting, coloring, and bounce houses. This was the first year the Lincoln Recreation Center held the event. Officials say they plan on making this an annual party. Another gorgeous day today, but Shell says summertime is on the way. Coming up, he'll have your latest pinpoint forecast. Plus, hay production is a little more complicated than you might think. We'll take you through the process.
It's all about people, it's all about home. Working together, loving our own.
And I am here to tell you that Kathleen is going to be a little bit of the speaker here.
KBTX, the very best we can give. We're here where you need us, here where you live, seeing life the way that you choose. News 3, this is your news. KBTX, it's the time that we share. It's for you, it's for me. People who care, Brazos Valley, this is for you. News 3, this is your news.
Live eye cameras are sponsored by Norman G. Tractor, the top volume Kubota dealer in the nation.
As the nation joined as one to salute the life of Barbara Pierce Bush, News 3 was proud to share some of life's greatest memories, made right here at home, remembering her impact and all she means to the Brazos Valley. Together, as one, and as many, to honor a life of love, pride, and purpose. May we all leave a lasting impact that changes lives, the impact that will never be forgotten.
You're watching News 3 at 6 on KBTX.
When asked where hay comes from, it's easy to say barn, but as Shel Winkley explains, it's a little more complicated than that.
In a normal year with the rainfall as needed, we can get in 3 cuttings of hay for sure, and possibly 4 if we get a little fall rain that's early enough.
Randy Britton grows hay in Brazos County and says that hay production is a year-round project.
In the wintertime, we want to aerate the soil. We'll come in and either put lime out at that time or late in fall to enhance the pH of the soil. Middle of March, we want to come in and spray the winter weeds. Then we'll put additional fertilizer on top of that. Then we're off to our first cutting for the year, usually sometime mid to late April.
Britton says nothing happens without rain, but it takes more than rain to produce quality hay. After a cutting, the first step is to refertilize.
We like to cut in 28-day cycles if possible. Farther on into the summer, you kind of get off of that a bit because the rain is a little skimpy through the summer months usually.
Britton says 28 days is where the optimal protein level and amount of forage available to make a bale intersect. Coastal
Bermuda grass in our area, you're looking 12 to 14% protein with some TDN of around 60%.
TDN stands for total digestive nutrients, which is a digestible level that an animal can consume and process the energy out of the hay and turn it into muscle for a beef animal or milk for a dairy cow. It's been said that ranchers are simply grass farmers that harvest using cattle.
Whether you're a grass farmer or a hay producer, it all ties into producing animals for consumption or domestic use. It's just an ongoing cycle that we have to have.
The point being that hay producers play an important role in feeding our country and many other countries around the world. I'm Shel Winkley, looking at Central Texas agriculture from the ground up.
From the Ground Up is sponsored by Producers Cooperative, proudly serving agriculture since 1943.
And staring up from the ground today, just a couple clouds in the sky across the Brazos Valley. More sunshine for your Sunday. Beautiful end to the weekend. As we head into next week, though, it looks like we start to change the seasons. We'll get you the details. Pinpoint forecast is next.
Log on to KBTX.com, the Brazos Valley's digital news leader. Download the KBTX app for your iPad to get the latest news, weather, and sports right at your fingertips. Local, trusted, KBTX News 3.
News 3 weather from the Pinpoint Forecast team is sponsored by the Bank and Trust. Local bank, local bankers. And now, local weather.
After our rainy and rumbly Friday across the Brazos Valley, that brought anywhere from about an inch and a half of rainfall across the central and western half of the area, and then just some puddles across the eastern half of the area. We picked up one more band of rain middle of the night, mainly for our friends down across the south side of the Brazos Valley. That pushed to the south. The skies cleared out after the morning, and we brought you back sunshine to the Brazos Valley. Although our active weather moved to the east of the Mississippi. In fact, if you were checking in with the Kentucky Derby today, it was the wettest Derby day on record since they've started the whole thing, with a little under 3 inches of rain. Flash flooding around Louisville today and made for a soggy, muddy track here for that race. Here's what it looks like out here back at home over the Brazos Valley. A live eye look from the Stella Hotel. Notice these clouds that we've had today. If you were out early this morning, they were trying to stretch nice and tall, but now they've flattened out like a pancake. We'll tell you why in a bit, but that is the insurance that things are going to stay pretty quiet weather-wise around here heading for tomorrow. Temperatures in the low 80s across both Bryan and College Station. Winds a little breezy from the north at about 10 to 15. Relative humidity, it's down today. We did have a weak cold front pass through yesterday with that rain and thunderstorm activity, so not a whole lot of humidity to talk about just yet. Upper 70s, low 80s at this 6 o'clock hour. 80 in Caldwell, Giddings as well. 78 degrees though for you folks over in Anderson. Any Saturday evening plans will continue to scoot the clouds on out of here. Temperature-wise, it's the 70s. A very mild, a very calm, and a very clear evening ahead. And those clear skies are very important, plus the calm winds. There is a little bit of moisture on hand, so it's not the perfect cooling situation. But with the clear skies overhead and those light winds, we're going to drop temperatures pretty cool, which means get up early with the sun rise and maybe take the cup of coffee out before church tomorrow. Temperatures are going to be mighty pleasantly cool, anywhere from the mid to upper 50s for most of the Brazos Valley, a few low 60s, but get it early because once the sun comes up, temperatures will warm very quickly. We're already into the 70s by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Here's the reason those clouds are flat. Here's the reason why the winds will be coming down for tomorrow and why they were so breezy today. This high pressure was taking over. It's going to situate itself west of the Brazos Valley. We're going to look for another sunny day and slightly above the seasonal average, which is 83 for this time of the year. We'll look for highs anywhere from about 84 to 87 for your Sunday afternoon. Great day to get outside, just a tad bit warm at the end of the day. Winds are light from the north, 5 to 10, 81 degrees by the lunchtime hour. We'll hit that mid 80 degree mark by mid-afternoon. Watch very closely. We're going to run you very quickly through a week of weather, and the storm track is basically staying to the north of the Brazos Valley, and that is where all of the rain and thunderstorm activity will stay as well. We have to go all the way to Friday to find just a 10% chance for rain. This weather system crossing the Rockies by Friday could start to bring some rain to us by our Mother's Day weekend, but for now, it is a very uninteresting week of weather in terms of rainfall. The one thing that will be changing, though, that is the temperatures. Remember, at this time of the year, low 80s are what we consider average. For tomorrow, it's the mid 80s. By Monday, some of us could hit 90 degrees, and I think if we're going to do it the first time this year, Tuesday is potentially the day to reach 90 degrees for the first time in 2018. That's because we have a bit of a west to southwesterly breeze blowing in here at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Now, Clay, brought temperatures down just below 90. I think the difference that'll be starting up on Wednesday is a southerly wind that'll introduce more Gulf moisture to the Brazos Valley. But while temperatures may be just below 90, more humidity means those heat index values are expected to be in the low to mid 90s. So we quickly turn from that nice quiet spring weather we had to all of a sudden feeling like summertime, or at least close to it here in the Brazos Valley.
Close to it, but good day today for golf if you're out there at A&M playing with Mike Evans. Perfect weather for that today.
Yeah, and Lemonade Day was today. Lots of kiddos out serving up the lemonade, and it was a beautiful day to get out and plenty warm to enjoy that lemonade.
Absolutely. Thanks very much, Shell. Well, the Aggie softball team looks to get back on track this afternoon. Highlights from their game at Alabama next in sports. And it's the same story for Aggie baseball. A&M hopes to get even with the Gators at Wilson Field.
Sports is sponsored by Allen Honda, corner of Southwest Parkway and Highway 6. Allen's got your Honda. From the KBTX Sports Center, News 3 Sports starts now.
The top-ranked Florida Gators flexed their muscle at Olsen Field last night, shutting out Texas A&M 9-0 in the series opener. Aggies hoping to get back on track this afternoon and even the series at a game apiece. The Gators looking to keep their season-long streak of winning every SEC series they've played in going. No score until the third. Gators have the bases loaded. Great play by Michael Hellman here off the bat of Jonathan India. The Aggies can't turn two. Blake Reese makes it 1-0 Florida. Then, just like last night, the Gators break things open in the sixth. J.J. Schwartz singles to bring home India and put the Gators on top by 2. Austin Langworthy follows with the single back up the middle. Will Dalton will cross the dish to push the Gator lead to 3. They are in the bottom of the 7th now. Florida leading Texas A&M 5-1. Sam Houston State going for the series win over Southeastern Louisiana this afternoon. The Lions would jump out to an early lead, but the Bearcats would claw their way back into the game. Bottom of the 4th, Chase Cryer sends the ball into the gap in right center that gets all the way to the wall. That sends Hunter Hearn home. Cuts the Southeastern lead to 3-1. The Cats continue to come back in the 5th. Hearn singles through the right side of the infield. Chisholm rounds 3rd. He comes in to score. They are still playing at the dawn, tied 4-4 in the 11th inning. Aggie softball at Alabama hoping to bounce back from a series opening loss on Friday night. Ags get off to a good start. Top of the 1st, Samantha Shao going back up the middle. Tori Vidalis easily scores. Ashley Walters will get in safely as well when the ball gets away from the catcher. A&M up 2-0, but Shao unable to keep the lead she helped herself get. She allows back-to-back Bama home runs in the 1st inning as the Tide takes a 3-2 lead. Then Shao allows a 3rd jack in the 2nd inning. Kaylee Tao, Bailey Hemphill, and Reagan Dykes all leaving the yard to put Bama up for good at 3-2. They'll tack on some insurance in the 6th. Sydney Booker, 2-run single that slips into left. Alabama goes on to win 10-4. The Aggies will try to avoid the sweep on Sunday. High school baseball playoffs. Rudder looking to close out its series against Lindale. Rudder trails, though, 3-0 in the 3rd. Jonathan Munoz ripping one back up the middle, and that will load the bases for Hunter Dobbins. He will hit a grounder to short. Eagles will get the out at 2nd, but the throw to 1st is off target. Brian Guajardo will score, and Munoz will slide in behind him, beating the tag and cutting the Lindale lead to 3-2, but that's the high point of the day. Eagles report on later. They take Game 2 10-2. Game 3 goes to the Eagles as well, 6-2. Lindale wins 2 today and ends the Rangers' season. Brenham needing to win a pair of games today against Georgetown to keep its season alive. Offense comes at a premium in this game because an old-fashioned pitcher's duel breaks out between Cub starter Austin Durkowski and Georgetown starter Wesley Gafford. Duo combined to give up only 3 hits on the day. In fact, Durkowski took a no-hitter into the 5th, but his bid ended with this Cole Posey single into right. That gives the Eagles that all-important base runner. Later in the frame, Posey going to try to steal 3rd. However, the throw going to go into the outfield, allowing him to score to give the Eagles a 1-0 lead, and that is all they would need. Georgetown hangs on, knocks Brenham out of the playoffs 1-0. A&M Consolidated needed 2 wins today, and they got them. 6-3 in Game 1, a 4-3 walk-off winner in Game 2. The Tigers move on to face Tomball in the area round. Navasota just got a walk-off win over Leander Glenn to force a Game 3 a little bit later. And, of course, the Kentucky Derby ran in the mud today. Justify is your winner.
All right. A lot of great baseball.
Did you bet heavy on him?
I did not, but I should have. That's a great, just last couple minutes, but that's some of the most exciting moments in sports, but it doesn't last very long for the
Down
Derby.
the stretch they come.
All right. Thank you very much, Cody.
You bet.
We'll have your final look at weather right after the break, but first, here's a look at our Live On Network. Adrenaline junkies, this one's for you. The world's tallest, fastest, and longest hyper-hybrid coaster opened at Cedar Point in Ohio today. The roller coaster rises 205 feet and then drops while reaching speeds up to 74 miles per hour. The ride wins 10 world records. That would be really fun. It looks kind of gloomy up there today with those clouds, but is that something you guys would ride?
I don't even like going 74 miles per hour down Highway 6. I don't want to come falling out of the sky that fast.
Y'all conveniently cut the video off before the coaster went like straight down, plummeting. I would ride it once, I guess.
Yeah, it'd be a fun trip up there. One of my big regrets in life is I never got to go to Astro World before it closed in Houston. Growing up in DFW, we went to Six Flags over Texas, but I regret not ever getting to ride all the rides down there.
More of a carousel kind of guy. Put me on that.
Put those carousel. Start with the small kid rides and work up from there. That's Shell's advice.
Yeah. Hey, in the morning, temperatures will be a cool start. So, in fact, the coolest start that we'll get all week. Temperatures anywhere from the mid and upper 50s in the Brazos Valley. Another warm and sunny one tomorrow. In fact, less cloud cover than we had today. today. Looking at the mid-80s, don't look now, but eventually we'll probably touch 90 degrees maybe a few times in the upcoming week.
Well, that's our report for now. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to join us for News 3 channel or anytime on our web channel, KBTX.com.
The following rules cover contests conducted by KBTX Media, but may be superseded by separate rules for specific contests. No purchase necessary. Employees of KBTX, Gray Television Group, its affiliates, sponsors, ad agencies, operational service providers for web channel or text messaging promotional services, other TV stations in the market, and each of their immediate family or household members are ineligible. Unless otherwise stated, entrants must be a legal U.S. citizen 18 or older living in Texas. You may win a prize in a contest once every 30 days, or for a prize valued over $600 only once every 6 months. Contests may be conducted over the air, via a web channel, text message, and telephone. KBTX is not responsible for technical difficulties that prevent you from completing a call, sending or receiving a text message or email, or for late, lost, stolen, mangled, misdirected, postage due, illegible, or incomplete entries. All prizes must be claimed within 30 days of winning. Winners must comply with all rules, sign and return all liability and publicity releases, or forfeit prize, and are solely responsible for all taxes. For complete official rules, visit our studio or web channel at kbtx.com.